Today we're going to show you how easy it is to make a latex balloon wall just like this one.
We're going to show you how to size the balloons properly, attach them to make the balloon wall base, add poles for support, and then finally how to add fluff and finish it up.
When creating a balloon wall, the most important thing is having the correct size of balloons. So you're going to have a quad that is bigger and a quad that is smaller. Now these sizes are dependent on you and how big you want to make your balloon wall, but the most important thing is that the small one needs to be at least half the size. The reason that these sizes are so important is that once we start building our wall, we need this bottom level to sit flush. If these ones were too big, it would actually push this out and wouldn't be able to sit flat on the floor.
So when sizing your balloons, you're going to want to either use an electric sizer like this that has a timer built into it, or a manual one, or you can actually use something around your house. 2 chairs, blow it up to the length that you want, and then you can pull it through. I recommend using the electronic one with the timer. It makes it a lot easier. Now, usually when you are rounding out your balloons, you let a little bit of air out. I didn't round this one and I rounded this one. But in this case, you don't want to do that since you want them to have the exact same size. So I'll just press it against my body, table, whatever, and it gets that nice rounded shape.
Now that we know how to make our 2 sizes, we are going to start building our wall. So the way we're going to do this is by placing the small one over the big one, and we're going to keep building off of that. Now my favorite way to do this is by tying the necks together. You can also do this with monoline or 260Qs, but I personally like using the least amount of supplies possible. I'm going to take the neck and take the neck here, and I'm going to tie these together. Just like that, and then I'm going to straighten them out. So here is what this is gonna look like. Now I'm gonna continue on with big and then small, big and then small, big and then small until I get the size that I'm looking for. So here is what one row of our wall is going to look like. Now we're gonna continue to make these and then we are going to stack them on top of each other. You also might notice that I have a few different colors in this. It's because I want my balloon wall to be a variation of pinks, but you could also do just a solid color if that's what you prefer. Okay, now we're gonna start building our wall. I'm gonna show you how we do that with this little sample section. When you place this on top, you're going to wanna make sure that the bigger balloons sit on top of the smaller ones. Just like that. Now, to actually get that attached, we're going to take a rubber band. You're going to loop it around one of the bigger balloons. And then place this and you can loop it on to one of these. And you're going to do this all the way along your balloon wall. Let's do it with the real wall. Now one of my favorite parts about doing a wall this way is, like you can see here, it just stands on its own and you can pick it up as a unit and move it around. It really is so easy to do this ahead of time and take it with you, even if you have to put it into sections. And then once we are finished with the base of the wall, we can go ahead and start adding all our fluff on top of it. So here's what the base of the wall looks like when we are finished putting all of those rows together. So the last thing we're gonna do is add a little extra stability to it, because even though it can stand on its own, we know that kids are gonna come up and wanna play with it, or even if adults hit it a little bit, we don't want it to fall over. So Brad is gonna show us exactly how we do that.
Now, when securing the balloon wall, we like to use lampstands. Now, when we're using our lampstands, kind of the rule is to connect it 2 balloons from the edge. And then we'll do the same on this side. This provides the weight and stability. Okay, when we first start putting our balloon wall onto our stand, we're going to pull the balloon wall onto it and it's gonna kind of interlock on it. So I'm gonna start here and just start pulling it on. Now to secure the stand to the balloon wall, we're gonna be using the rubber bands. We're coming back to the rubber bands, we're gonna be using them a lot. And so the first thing we're gonna be doing is taking this and then wrapping it around like so, and then interlocking it, and that way we create a loop. I'll pull this tight, and then I will, with this loop, find a small balloon and wrap that around. And that's gonna keep that attached nicely to the pole. And now that we have our first one attached, we're gonna be adding more throughout. Now I should mention that this is going to be the back side of the balloon wall, so it doesn't need to look pretty, it doesn't need to look perfect. This is gonna be the side that's not visible. Now that we have our poles attached, Kalie's gonna show you how we add our fluff.
So to add our fluff to our balloon wall, we are going to use our rubber bands again. So I like to add my large balloons first. You're going to take one, blow it up, tie it off by itself, take your rubber band, go around the tail, and pull this through. Just like that. And then you can find whatever spot you want on your balloon wall and simply slip it over, and it'll stick right in there for you. Now that we got our larger ones on, we are going to move on to our smaller fluff. And like I've said before, this is really where you get to get creative and do unique designs. You can do these however you'd like, and I've seen so many amazing ones. So, I have a few different kinds of small fluff that we are gonna add in. Now, if you have a big spot that you are wanting to fill up, go ahead and make a little, like a mini garland like this. It is just quads, so a bigger one, and it just gets smaller, and I have just simply tied like 5 quads together. And you can take that, find a big blank spot that you want filled. So if I wanted it here, I could just add it in. If I wanted it down here, I could just add it in there. I wouldn't suggest doing more than a few of these though. So here is the end result of our little sample wall. As you can see, you don't need to fill every spot. That's why we did those variations in colors in the background. And it's nice when you have different levels to it. So I hope this has been helpful,
and we'll see you next time.